Hello everyone, this is Professor J. Kim. Two things today. No, actually three things. So first, we're going to make a logo like this using Adobe Illustrator. And with this logo, we're going to make two different animations using Adobe Animate. So this is the first animation. And this is the second animation. Okay, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel, hit the like button, and set the alarm for my latest video. Then let's get started. Okay, so let's make this logo first. So go to File, make a new document in Illustrator, and the size is gonna be 600 point by 600 point. So points or pixels, either one's fine. Okay, and then create it. Okay, so first, we're gonna need to draw a circle. So please use ellipse tool and set your stroke color to nothing, and the fill color, I'm gonna use my swatches and then orange color, my favorite color. So I'm just click somewhere and set the size 150 pixel width by 150 pixel height. Okay. So we got this. So we have one. I'm going to make a copy of this. Hold down the Option, click, Shift, and drag it. Okay. So I have a second one. Then still, your current selected tool is the other Move tool, and then hit the Return. I'm going to move it horizontally 275 pixels, and vertically, no. And 0 angle and copy. Okay, so I have third one. Then this time choose the your rectangle tool, click somewhere, and set the size 300 pixel width by 200 pixel height. Okay, so there are three. Okay, these three. Select all these three, and then open your alignment panel. And I'm going to align vertical line center, and then I'm going to distribute the same space. So there are three pieces, 1, 2, and 3. Select all these three, open the Pathfinder, and unite it as one shape. Deselect. Now switch your tool to a direct selection tool, this the white arrow, and click on this point. Hold down the Shift key to add the point 2, 3, and 4. So I'm selecting all these 4. You will see that you have a little tiny circle. Keep pressing your mouse cursor on one of them and drag it until you see that red line. Okay. Now select this. Hold down the Shift key and then approach your mouse cursor to the corner. Now you're going to see that bend cursor. Keep pressing and rotate 45-degree angle, just like this. Okay, and I'm going to place it there. You see that? On top left corner, you see that kind of two pink guidelines to show they intersect. Release it. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to have another one. Keep pressing. Hold down the Option key, keep pressing your mouse cursor and Shift key and drag it and place it somewhere there until you see that kind of same amount of space here and here. Okay, so I got this. Now select this one, hold down the Option, keep pressing your mouse cursor and the Shift key and drag it just somewhere here. Okay, so I'm trying to have some kind of a visually kind of a same space here and here and here. Okay, now I'm going to have another one. Select this, hold down the Option, keep pressing your mouse cursor, mouse button and the Shift key and drag it. You see that? Now you see the guidelines on right. Okay, I need one more. This one. choose that, hold down the option, hold down the option, keep pressing your mouse button and the shift key and drag it to the bottom right corner. See that? Yep. So on the pink guideline is on the bottom, so it is snapped. Okay, so I'm done. The logo is completed. Next step is I'm gonna save this file as a SVG file so I can use it as a scalable vector graphics in Adobe Animate. So go to File, Save As. Let me save it here. I have a few files already. So please choose the SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics. And the file's name, I'm gonna name it as a logo, maybe a number 2 this time. Save it. And OK. Now go to open the Adobe Animate and make a new document. So on the size is going to be 600 pixel by 600 pixel. It depends. So you can make it way bigger, smaller. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to use this size. And then on 30 frame rate and HTML5 canvas and create it. Okay, so first, let's make this one. Dropping down the box and text animation. Okay, it's good. So first the thing is, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, maybe 80%. Okay, it's good. And let me draw a rectangle, the square, the box, with this orange color. FF9900. Okay. So first let me draw a square. I'm holding down the shift key. Select it. Open your alignment panel. And then align to stage. I want to have the center. And let me place it a little bit, not quite bottom, but I'm somewhere here. Okay. So first the thing is, as I showed you, I'm going to have this kind of effect. Boxes dropping down and bouncing 1, 2, 3. So I'm bouncing twice. Okay, so let me go back. So first the thing is, on frame number 10, insert the keyframe. Keyframe. Okay. And as you can see here, this happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more keyframes. Okay. So once it bounces up, I'm not gonna change the location yet. So in here, let me insert the keyframe to another keyframe. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to have 2 more. This time, just 3 more frames. Keyframe, and 3 more, and keyframe. Okay, now place your mouse cursor anywhere in between your first keyframe and the second keyframe, frame number 10. Hold down the Control or right click, Classic Twin. I'll do the same thing for each segment. Control, click, Classic Twin. Control, click, Classic Twin. Control, click, Classic Twin. Control, click, and Classic Twin. So now I just need to change the position. So first keyframe. I want to start from the out of this stage. So highlight the first keyframe, choose your square, and then move it up. Hold down the shift key and move up. So it will be dropping like this. Okay. So first keyframe, and this is a second keyframe on the ground. And the third one, I want to highlight the third keyframe, select your square. I'm going to move it up a little bit for bouncing, the first bouncing, like that. And it is falling down again. And the last one, bouncing back just a little bit. So this happens. Doing, doing. So it is okay, but just to make it more interesting, what I want to do is on my third keyframe, when it hits the peak of this bouncing, I want to rotate it by using my free transform tool. On third keyframe, let me rotate it slightly, like a clockwise. And it goes back. And another bouncing back, this one, free transform tool. This is a fifth keyframe. I'm gonna rotate it counterclockwise this time. Not too much, just a little bit. So watch. See? It is more natural. But also, let me change the other speed, because when it falls down due to gravity, it's supposed to getting a little faster. So highlight the first keyframe, and in your properties panel, you're going to see that ease option. I'm going to increase this number up to 100. That's the maximum value. And watch. You will see the difference. Oh, sorry. Not 100. Minus 100. Watch. See? Getting faster. It is more natural. Okay. So this is done. So after that, I want to change these shapes as the logo we created. So first the thing is, this entire animation is a little less than 1 second. So let me highlight the 2-second mark, insert the keyframe, okay, and hold down the control key, click somewhere in between, or right click and create classic tween. Just leave it as it is. Then add a new layer on top, and then on frame number that is the 26 here, that's the last keyframe of this animation. Here, highlight that, insert the keyframe. This time it's going to be blank keyframe. So you're going to see that little the empty circle, meaning there is a keyframe button which is empty. Now let me import file, import to library. I'm going to import the logo 2.svg, the one we made in Illustrator. And check the second radio button, import each path to the different layer. Oh no, not this one. All path into the same layer. This time. And OK. Now check the library. You see that? Logo 2 SVG file. So on a new layer, on this new blank keyframe, just drag and drop to here. Okay. It's pretty big. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to make it slightly smaller than this square. Just like that. And you see that little color difference. So what I'm going to do is, let me select this and let me break apart. Under modify, break apart. Modify, break apart one more time. And then let me choose the color that was this. So exactly the same color now. So now what I'm going to do is, on 2-second mark, frame number 60, on this top layer, highlight it, insert the keyframe, okay, and then place your mouse cursor somewhere in between, anywhere, hold down the control key or right click, and create classic tween. So nothing's happening yet. So now, first thing is, my plan is, while the other orange square box is fading out, and I want to have my logo fading in. Okay? So, place your mouse cursor at the end, highlight the second keyframe, the last keyframe of the square layer, and click on square. Choose that. And open properties panel. You see the color effect. Choose the alpha down to 0. So what happens is, see, this happens. Okay. And at the same time, I want to have have these logos fading in. So on this frame here, the first keyframe of this new layer, and select your logo and color effect. In your properties panel, choose the alpha value down to 0. So it looks the same, but it is slightly different. So on the box is fading out, at the same time the logo is fading in. See? Just like this. So let me double click my hand tool and let me play it. So it looks good so far. Now after that, I want to move the logo up to the center. I want to make it even slightly bigger. So getting bigger and moving up. So 3-second mark. Choose your move tool, selection tool. Highlight the 3-second mark. Insert the keyframe. And place your mouse cursor anywhere in between. Hold down the Control or right click. Create classic twin. On frame number 90, which is a 3-second mark, I'm going to move this up a little bit higher than center. And also at the same time, choose your free transform tool. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Hold down the shift key, about that size. So far, this is what we have. Okay, and then after that, I want to have the text. Add a new layer on top. Okay, and highlight frame number 90, which is 3-second mark. Insert the keyframe, which is a blank keyframe. Then choose your type tool and type the word. I'm gonna type tech company. And then my typographic choice, I'm gonna have different style for the tag. So for the first word, the tag, let me choose the Arial black. And the color, I want to use dark blue. And for the company, I want to use light blue. Like that. And then let me choose my free transform tool. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Hold down the shift key and drag it. Just like that. So tech company. Okay, or any name you like. Okay, so first, let's animate this text. Select your text and then under modify menu and break apart. And it will break a whole word into an individual letter. Then go to modify, timeline, distribute to layers. See that? So now each letter has the individual layer because we're going to animate the individual layer separately. Then before we do that, I'll do something more after this. I want to modify and break apart again. Okay. And then now highlight the frame number 100. So 10 frames. So we're going to use the 10 frames for each text animation. So highlight the frame number 100 on my first letter T. See that? And then hold down the shift key and click on the frame number 100 on top letter Y. Then insert the keyframe. Okay. Now select the other all layers, just the text layers of everything from T to Y, and then place your mouse cursor somewhere in between any layer. So hold down the Control or right click and click Create Classic Twin. Okay. Now move your playhead to the frame number 90 and deselect it first, select the other letter, every other letter. So hold down select the T, the first letter, then hold down the Shift, skip the E, C, skip H, C, skip, next, skip, next, skip, next, on your first keyframe. Then just keep pressing the up arrow key somewhere there. Then in color effect, choose alpha down to 0. So your letters, see, this happens. So I will do kind of the same thing for the other letters. E, hold down the shift key, H, O, P, N. Let me keep pressing the down arrow key somewhere there. And alpha down to 0. So watch. Okay, don't worry about the missing logo. We're gonna fix it. Okay, now after that, I want to assign another 10 frames on this text. So let me select the frame number 110 on the first letter T, hold down the shift key, highlight click on the 110 on top layer, letter Y, then insert the keyframe. Okay, now I'm gonna do some more on frame number 150, which is a 5-second mark. Hold down the shift key, click on top, and insert the keyframe. Okay, now see what happens. What I'm gonna do is once the text is settled down like this, on frame number 10 here, the frame number 110, these frames, place your playhead there. I'm gonna select the letter T. Way further, I'm gonna select the letter Y to the right, and let me select the whole thing. I'm still on the frame number 110. Then open alignment panel, uncheck align to stage. Please uncheck this box, and then in distribute, the fifth one, distribute horizon to center, click. So this happens, and watch what happens on your text. Fitting in is like the kind of a movie title. So it looks good. The problem is we're missing the logos. So what I need to do is, after this point here, I need to keep it up to 150, the 5-second mark. Just insert the keyframe. That's it. And watch what happens. Bouncing, fading in, and text animation. Again. Okay, and then let me try this. I want to test it on my web browser. Test movie in browser, and watch. That's nice, but I want to make it stay a little longer because it keeps looping without any kind of enough time to read it. So this is the 5 seconds. So let me add maybe just 3 more seconds. So we need to keep the other logos on layer 2. Hold down the shift key and click on 8-second mark, 120, 240 keyframes there. Then insert the keyframe. Okay, so let me test the movie again. Control, test the movie in browser. Then 1, 2, 3, and again. Okay. Now, let me save this file. Save as. I'm gonna save it as animation number 1. Save it. And I want to export it as a video file so I can use it for my social media like Instagram or Facebook. So I want to export it as an MP4 file. So I export video media. Make sure your media encoder is open. This one, this guy. So file, export, video and media. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the same size, format is H.264 default, and the output location, that's the important thing. We're going to export to my folder as an animation number 1, save it, and export it. It takes a few seconds. Now let me check my folder. So you see that animation1.mp4. Let me play it. Okay, that's good. So you can upload this maybe on any social media. Okay, so the first animation is done. Now let's do the second one, which is this. Okay, it is even simpler. So the same thing. I'm gonna make a new document in Adobe Animate, same size, 600 pixel by 600 pixel, 30 frame rate, HTML5 canvas, create it. I'm gonna make it slightly smaller, 80%. Okay, then let me import. This time I'm gonna import to stage directly. Logo to SVG, the logo we made. I import all path into the same layer and frame. Okay, I'm gonna choose that. Okay, all right, just like this. Let me break apart. Okay, just like this. Looks good. I want to make it a little bit smaller. Select everything, choose your free transform tool, hold down the shift key, make it smaller. Maybe about, not too small, maybe about this size. And I'm gonna move it to the top, not very top, just a little bit up, so I can have a text. Okay, just like this. And then select everything. Then there are the multiple pieces. So like we did, we're going to assign the individual layer for each piece. So make sure you select everything. Under Modify menu, Timeline, Distribute to Layers. All right, see that? So when you click on each layer, you can tell which layer has which image. Okay. So I want to have the top 3 layers with these 3 dots. 1, this one, 2, and 3. So this bottom one, I want to move it to the top. Very top, or doesn't matter, somewhere here. So these 3 here, and then 3 dots on top, 3 layers. Okay, now let's animate it. Highlight the frame number 10, hold down the shift key, click on the frame number 10 on top layer, insert the keyframe. Now select the all layers, hold down the shift and click on the layers, then hold down the control key, place your mouse cursor somewhere in between and click, and create classic twin. So nothing's happening yet. Now place your playhead at the very beginning, then deselect, select these 2, 1, and hold down the shift key and these 2. Then hold down the shift key, click, and move it up. Maybe not too far, maybe somewhere there. It's okay. Excuse me. And then still your 2 images are selected. In the properties panel, color effect, choose the alpha down to 0. So it's going to be fading in and moving in like this. So on frame number 1, I'm going to select this piece. Let me move to the bottom, somewhere there. And color effect alpha down to 0. So this happens. Okay, now select all 3 dots, the circles. Oh, at the very beginning again. Select all these 3. Make sure your playhead is at the very beginning. Then open your transform panel. If you do not see this, it is under window menu and transform. I'm gonna make it bigger, like, I don't know, 300%. Yes. And then color effect alpha down to 0. Fading in like this. So my plan is, it is okay, but I want to give some little time gap. So the first 10 frames, I want to have just these three little pieces, just like that. And 3 dots, I want to have some little bit different time gap. So select the layer 7, which is this one. I'm going to move this, maybe 5 more frames, or maybe 10, like this. And frame number, and then the second layer from the top, I'm gonna move it 5 more, up to 25. And this one, the top one, up to 30. So this will happen. Okay? But I want to keep it. So select the frame number 30 on the second layer from the top, hold down the shift key, click on the frame number 30 on the bottom layer, then insert the keyframe. Then this will happen. Okay. And the next, I just need to have a text. Select a new layer on top, highlight the frame number 30. Okay. Insert the keyframe, which is going to be a blank keyframe. Then let me type the word. Tech company, like we did, and I will do the same thing as I did. Area black, something bolder, and the color is gonna be dark blue, and for the company, and lighter blue. Select it, and then let me choose my free transform tool. I'm gonna make it, hold down the shift key, make it bigger, like that. Okay, somewhere there. So it looks good. And the same thing. Select the text, modify, break apart, then go to modify menu, timeline, distribute to layers. Then modify and break apart again. Now this is the image. Now select the first keyframe, the letter T, and highlight the frame number 40, so 10 more frames. Hold down the shift key and click on the frame number 40 on top layer. Then insert the keyframe. Okay, now select all layers, all the text layers only by holding down the shift key. Then place your mouse cursor somewhere in between, anywhere. Hold down the control and click and create classic twin. All right, so we're getting in there. Now highlight the first keyframe of your letter T. Hold down the shift key, click on the first keyframe of your Y layer. So the first keyframe of each letter is all selected. Then open transform panel. I'm gonna make it bigger, 300% bigger. Okay. And the color effect, choose the alpha down to 0. So this happens. Okay. Then let's give some little more fun. Letter T is okay. I want to give it a little time gap. So I select the E layer. I'm gonna move it 5 more frames. And the C layer, 5 more. Next letter, 5 more. Next letter, 5 more. Next letter, 5 more. Next letter, and 5 more. Next, 5, next, and 5, next, 5, next, and this is the last letter. So watch. This happens. As always, we need to keep all the images up to this point. So I'm highlighting the frame number 90, which is the 3-second mark on the letter N layer, and scroll down. I'm going to hold down the shift key, click on the very bottom layers, frame number 90, and insert the keyframe. Then we have everything stays. Isn't it nice? Like we did, I want to make it stay a little longer. So after 3-second mark, I want to make it stay maybe a three more seconds. So on 6-second mark here, let me highlight the 6-second mark, which is the frame number 180 frames, and all the way up, hold down the shift key, select the 6-second mark, and insert the keyframe. That's it. Let me control test the movie in browser. Watch. 1, 2, 3, and again. So it looks good. Now, let me save this file. Save as. This time, I'm going to save as an animation number 2.fla. Then let me export it like we did as the MP4 file. Export video and media. Everything's the same location. So format must be H.264, default preset, and then the output location is going to be this folder. And animation number 2. Save it, export it. Then the media encoder will export your file as a .mp4 file. Let me check my folder. See? So I have an animation number 2. Play. Yes. So we have this and we have this. So 2 animations with 1 logo. And this one. Okay, so that's it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and you can use this technique for your future project, kind of a logo promotion or anything for their social medias. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time.